Yo, what's up? You know what time it is? It's time that I take the external hard drive that has all my old game footage on it from Lords of the Fallen, do a little voiceover, and put some copyright free music on top of it. Once it's rendered, I'll throw it up. I might have some hot takes, some mild criticisms of the game. There'll be some poll writers that'll drop some negative comments in there, and then there'll be some people that absolutely hated the game that might say something that's like way off base. I guess in regards to me, you can call me an enlightened centrist on the game because I actually like the game. I might reinstall it because I'm starting to feel that itch again, but it's just not one of those games that I can play daily like From Software games. It just didn't hit me the same way it hit some other folks, and that's cool, that's valid. I do not judge you. It's just, not my thing, but I do like the game. And to all those people that just like straight hate it, that's weird too. So, without any further ado, though, I am going to get to the new patch. And this patch is another optimization patch. It's just your basic optimization and, bug fix. It's not anything new. There's not anything from the roadmap on it. There's no big content releases, but it's, the developers doing their due diligence trying to get the game to work right. Per Hexworks, in this week's update, we have made another optimization pass focusing on various enemy cloth mechanics to increase performance for lower end systems. Now, for me in particularly, I never had any performance issues based on my system. I got a pretty high-end system, and the game ran just fine. All of my complaints were about stuff that just wasn't included in the game, like quality of life, things that you have in other games, and also just more of the gameplay, because most of my criticisms that I can point at directly have to do with boss design and with the overuse of reused assets. And that's not uncommon with a lot of Souls-like games, whether they're from Software or any other developer. It's just that this game had an overwhelming number of reused assets, and a lot of times the bosses are just not that dynamic. I mean, there's some standout bosses in there like Judge Cleric. Pieta is a great tutorial boss. But then, I don't understand the worship of Hush Saint. I thought that was a very straightforward fight that wasn't difficult, and that seems to be like a stopping place for a lot of people. I thought Tancred was visually very cool, but I don't think that fight was very dynamic as far as the boss mechanics. So, there are a lot of potentially great fights in this game, but it's just as a whole, it didn't have a lot of the dynamics that I would have liked to have seen, especially in a game released in 2023. Yeah, after having seen Elden Ring and what a Souls-like can do, but yeah, it's still a great game. I'm just curious, at what point do we stop having to cater to people that don't have the newest consoles, cut short what the potential of a game can be on an engine like Unreal Engine, because there's a lot of potential for some great things to be developed on this engine, but a lot of systems don't have the capacity to run it, and it's going to hamstring developers if they continually make it back compatible with systems that just can't run. At what point do you cut your losses and you just make stuff as fluid, dynamic, and look as good as you possibly can? Because this game looked awesome. I mean, it had its janky parts, but as far as the art direction and the visuals and the textures, it was great. And they're continually doing updates for textures, and they're having to optimize it for systems that really weren't able to run this game. But like a lot of people, like PlayStation 5, the latest Xbox, if you have up-to-date enough graphics card, PC, like people like us weren't seeing any problems. And these updates, I would like to see them focus more on content and quality of life, but I guess you gotta bend to the whim of your current player base, and I guess a lot of people are on older consoles, so it is what it is. And to get back on topic, outside of the cloth optimization, they also added more multiplayer connectivity feedback indicators which allow players to have greater insight into the current state of their online experience with icons to indicate both ping rate and packet loss. And as always, through their investigations and player reports, they've made further tweaks that continue to enhance the online player experience. Those are the two big bullet points: the cloth optimization for the enemies and multiplayer connectivity, especially the indicators that allow you to see what your online player health is. And of course, that brings me to my most common criticism of the game, is the fact that they should have had online multiplayer working before releasing the game, especially since they marketed the game on the PvP aspect so heavily, especially bringing in content creators from the Dark Souls and Elden Ring PvP space to do balancing for them, when they should not have even been worried about balancing. Instead, they should have made sure the peer-to-peer works. But in spite of all that, they made a fun game. And it's not as bad as some people say it is, but it's not as great as what other people say it is. But, I'm that centrist. I'm going to play it every few months. I'm not going to play it day to day. That's just the way I am with this game. And, if you like it so much, you play it day to day, that's cool too. It's just, I'm going to keep telling you what the updates are, and I'm going to flavor my updates a little bit with some of my criticisms of it, especially, even if they are repetitive. I apologize for that. And maybe one of these days I'll make a little essay, a video essay that makes a more concise argument about the things I think work and the things that don't. That's something to look out for. Just not something I'm doing now. I'm just going to keep, dropping these patch notes whenever they come out. But anyway, just give me a like and a subscribe, and I'll talk to you later. Peace.